Okay, I think I got that sorted. Sorry about that. I hope. Why? Bum, bum, bum. So today I had this Windows update, and this April update, and it seems to have messed up everything. Especially my sound settings are completely screwed. So levels. Is that better? Yeah, I think that's better. Maybe I'll turn it down a little bit there. So okay, so let's try again. Now that the sound issues are fixed, I am going to start by saying hello everyone, and welcome to this Friday stream, episode 23. I was sitting and talking for a good 9 minutes before realizing that there was no sound. Yeah, so today I am going to be going back to sketching, as I was saying. During the past 1.5 weeks, we have been doing inking of the sketches that were created the 5 weeks before that, and I was in the middle of telling what I had been doing in those weeks when I realized I didn't have any sound. So let's try again. So the first week that I had, or that was going, I was doing sketches of stones, and now I will confide with the actual sketchbook. After stones, I moved to roots of trees and trees themselves. And the week 3 I did skulls of animals, and the week after that, week 4, it was insects, and then we moved to these big animals like elephants and rhinos and turtles, and there was some Komodo dragons and some hippos as well. And last week and some of this week I have been inking those sketches. And today we are going to be doing cityscapes. We're going to be sketching cityscapes, and I had told this long story about how I have found these images. These images I have found by screen capturing movies. So, for example, The Fifth Element is a movie that I really like the cityscapes in. A movie that I like the cityscapes in, but don't, or let's say I like some of the city areas in, but I don't necessarily like the movie itself, is the adaptation of the the Ghost in the Shell. So the movie version I don't like. I like the anime version. I really like that one. So, but since I cannot, or I do not want to do drawings from other drawings, I took some screen captures of scenes that I really liked in that movie as well. So yeah, sketching and sound, amazing. For this, since I'm going to be sketching, I'm going to be picking for the first time in a long time another brush, and I'm going to be picking this soft round with pressure being the size, and I'm going to be zooming in a little bit to around 50% on the image, and let's see, yeah, it is functioning today so far. Let's see how long that lasts. And so I have my references here in PureRef. I have only taken a couple of images since they are going to be extremely tough and take a lot longer than a simple animal. What else is there to say? I think we should just get started. I think that's what we should just do. Let me grab a little bit to drink, and then we will get started with some cityscapes. And with some sound as well. That is amazing. So I was saying, I've been having this issue with the new April update, which on my machine went live today, and it has screwed up a lot of things for me. And of course it was installed like an hour before I started streaming, so that is really nice. I will just quickly good. Now that is done, and here perfect. Let's get started. Let's check this out. So the first image that I'm going to be doing is a cityscape from Ghost in the Shell, the movie, not the anime. I like the anime, but I do not like the movie. Other movies that could be really good for cityscapes, but I think that's more like city drawing, I would say. Like street drawing would, for example, be I will try and figure out the name meanwhile. Blade Runner, it's called. Has amazing atmosphere, as well. I'm not going to be timing myself today, or actually maybe I'll time myself, but I will set it at something like really high, like an hour or something like that. Maybe an hour would actually be good. So let's do that. 60 minutes, and let's get started. So as I said, I'm having this standard soft round pressure size brush, and I have made it pretty thin. And since this is city stuff that I'm going to be doing, it means that I am going to be doing a lot of blocks to begin with, and then start filling in those blocks. And this image that I'm looking at here, which I actually happen to really like, it has this this box kind of thing. I'm not so interested in straight lines here as much as getting the idea down of what I'm drawing. So it has this is the lower part of the box. It will make sense in a moment what that box then is. And let's see, here is the middle of the horizon. It has these, it goes here, and then that means that it would be going here as well. And then we can fill in the blanks, and we will already have a little bit of a guide for a perspective grid, right? So there, as I said, I'm not really that interested in getting it completely 100% correct here. It's more kind of like getting down the idea, and then after getting down the idea, I will overlay a new layer and probably clean it up a little bit. And let's see, I'm noticing that for each second one of these, there is this in between. Welcome and thanks for the host. So the first 10 minutes of the stream, which is why I haven't gotten any further than this so far, was without mic, because Windows had updated to the newest version, and there it had taken away my Razer Siren X microphone. So I was sitting and talking to nothing. Anyways, as tonight is cityscapes, I will be doing some sketching from images that I have screen grabbed from movies. And this is a screen grab from the not so new anymore Ghost in the Shell movie, which I happen to not like at all. But I like this area, which I think is actually in Taiwan, that they have taken it, and it has a lot of atmosphere. So this is the reason I grabbed it, even though I don't actually like the movie itself. I think the nah, let's do it like this instead to be sure. I think it's a bad adaptation of a really, really good series, or yeah, both series and movie, anime movie. So, and I don't like, even though I like Scarlett Johansson, I seriously don't like that that it's a Caucasian that is playing the lead role in it, when she is clearly a my touch is going off the beat. Since the main character, Major Kusanagi or something like that, is clearly very, very Japanese, and I think it's a shitty explanation that they have in it why she is a Hollywood star instead of a mere mortal Japanese actor. But that's just me. Okay, so as I was saying, I have grabbed this scene. The lead character is going to meet her mother for the first time, like her real mom, and that was not far enough down, and she is not knowing that she's Japanese, and the mom lives in kind of like this very, very populated area, and she's like walking in here, which is kind of like this bridge. Well, I guess most people have seen that movie these days, haven't they? So anyways, I'm not actually that interested in this bridge, even though it's the thing I'm spending all my time on while I'm being hosted. It's the cityscape behind it, where you can really see that humongous amount of people are living. I think that's the interesting part. Yet I spend all my time on this. I don't know why. I guess I'm dumb. Let's see. That will be a little askewed. And here as well. So how is everyone tonight? I hope everyone is doing great and having fun here Friday evening. At least I know that I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. So for the past 1.5 weeks I have been inking instead of sketching, and I have to admit it has been pretty damn boring. There and here. So it's not going to be 100% as the reference, because when you are doing this type of sketching, you add your own things to it as you go, as you find your own style. and this is clearly out of perspective. But as I started by saying, when I started this, I'm not so concerned with that, because this is just the sketch, and then I will have a draw through afterwards where I clean up the perspective and lay down perspective lines, and it becomes very technical instead of just having fun. There. That's good enough for me. And of course there is this thing in the middle of all of these with a net that makes certain that people don't fall down from this. So I'll add those, and then let's see these. Yeah, so this Windows update really screwed me over. It completely took away my my mic. I think I've gotten it back now, but it has even taken away the sound control panel and made like this new Windows 10 control panel. So I had to find it again in the old control panel. And of course it was 10 minutes before the stream started, so I was really happy. And there is a guide beam here where these come together. Now, before you're all moving over to the next person, if that hasn't already happened, I'm actually going to touch up on these front lines, because right now we can't really see what is in front and what is behind, and I don't want you to leave not being able to tell the difference. So generally speaking, also in inking, lines that are in front are thicker, and lines that are behind get thinner with distance. You will actually see this if you read comic books as well. In comic books, this is used a lot. So fix that one, and then this on top. I haven't warmed up yet, so my lines are not very straight. As the night progresses, my wrist will become warm and everything will become a lot better in general. This one, there is coming a shadow down here, so we are going to make this one even thicker. And once again, I have just spent like 15 minutes on this one instead of the actual structure behind it. But what the hell. Okay, structure behind it. It's comprised of blocks. And I do believe it would actually, if you go there to, I think it's in Taiwan, this cityscape is originally from. I think if you would go there, it would probably even be referred to as blocks. Let's see. And I'm making a terrible mistake here because it's a 3-point perspective, so this actually comes out a little bit as we move away from the center line. And the same on this side. It basically means that if you could build the buildings as tall as the eye could see, up here somewhere in the top, they would come together. Kind of like when you look at the horizon line here on the horizon. Okay, so I've drawn these lines, but of course that doesn't say anything. Now I'll have to fill in stuff, and I will start by, let's see, that is actually a lot more. It's more like this. So this is the side of a building, or part of the building, and here it then goes in and starts going down. You will notice that here in the bottom it's longer than here. And that's this 3-point perspective that comes into play. And let's see, it goes in a little bit more here. As we come closer to this, the lines will become thinner and thinner because we are going in towards the camera. So for example, while this one is a little further out, this one will be going more straight inwards into the picture. So I have to be careful not to make those completely straight down, since we are still out on the side here, where the perspective is a little bit skewed. Now there comes a block that comes out in front of this, so it comes around here, and again it's gonna go a little bit towards the right, and it's overlapping this part in here. And this is what makes things look three-dimensional, when that, and then the shadow that is being applied, and the, for example, windows when they come here. There, and this goes even further in. Let's see, yeah. That one doesn't stick as far out from this side as the other one. And then there is a long, that's probably a like bigger apartments. And again, let's make it a little bit easier, because now I'm starting to add too much detail straight away. So from the center line here, I will add a single big apartment. And we can actually, if we split it up into two, then we can't see here because it leans out that way. So say, for example, here comes a part, and then say it goes out here. And let's see, it goes in a little. So now I'm starting to split up these blocks by adding parts and removing parts with subtraction of objects and adding of objects. Let's say this, for example, goes to the same here, and that's the inner part of the block that is going to be sticking out, and then sticks out. Let's make it stick out quite a bit. I could use a ruler, but that would defeat the purpose here, I think. So here, and then, for example, it goes in. Actually, this goes out on the reference material. Around the end of this, there comes this big block that goes out from everything else. And it has to go out, not on the same line there, but more like this. I know it can be hard to kind of see what this will become. But bear with me for a second. Now that we have it here, let's make this one as well, just so that we have a reference. First, I'm going to add something here that is part of this structure. And let's move the canvas and rotate it a little bit. And we're going to have to hit the same, roughly the same angle as this. So here, that means this is coming on a too big an angle. There, that's better. So now this suddenly has a attachment here. And then let's split this one up. Yeah. And let's make an apartment here. So let's see, how do these have, they have like this small ledge that sticks out that you can stand on. And that is too far up, because if you stand on that, then you don't actually have any room for your head. And then there would be a door here. And since this is like an Asian apartment, they have this air conditioning that is usually right next to the door for some reason. There. And can't really see that air conditioning. I'm using too thick a brush, that's why. So here's a window. And there could be a man standing there. Looking out. And we have to add a little bit of detailing in order to make this interesting, because when it's just blocks, then it's not interesting to look at. So maybe there is like some form of roof here. And we could even make this all the way out so that they have more room to stand on. And now it could be this could be like a different apartment. Right? So suddenly we have this insinuation that there is an apartment up there. Now we can take this part and let's copy it and just move it down. Since this is the sketch, we don't really care if it is not completely correct in the perspective, because once again we will fix that. So there, and I think we're gonna need one more. need one more. Let's move that one there, and then we'll simply just erase the top part of it that goes in over this this part. I think we need one more. I don't think we can live without it. Let's see if some of this one is gonna be shown. Through here. No, it's not, but it might. There might be one here that is shown. Or let's say maybe some of it there, and then we can simply just again go in and erase the parts that shouldn't be there. It's that simple. And now we just merge these layers. And that's how we draw a length of apartment buildings. Pretty easy. I'll take a quick break, and when I return, we will continue. And I'm back. So let's see. Where am I? Here. Yeah. So I was talking about filling in these. So they're basically the same forms, which means over here I was able to just copy down what I had, and it means that we can basically do that on all of these for this sketch. So let's continue. Up here, I guess this is probably where the stairway is. So just copy it. No, actually, not gonna copy it. And the reason why I'm not copying this simple thing is that I can quickly make a line down, since this is the construction sketch. So, and it means that when I add these, they will be in a better perspective, which means I don't actually have to fix that much later. So I'm just going over, looking roughly where they should be. And they come through here. And since there is one there, we'll have one of these windows here. And then probably one here, and so forth. Just remove this in between. And we have this service area. Really quickly. I think since these are the front ones, we'll do them a little more detailed than the others. So if we look at this, it has this this standing part. Let's see. If this is one apartment, then we will see this, and then this comes out a little bit. It's not too much because of the direct perspective on it. and it goes up, let's say roughly like this. They probably have like a wall in between so that they can't so that they don't disturb each other. Like that. Okay. And in here it has this I guess it's a door. And let's make it a long window that is split up into two. And again, it has this air condition thing. So I'm spending a little extra time on this one because I'm going to copy paste it down, and then it makes sense to spend a little time on it, and then it will be good every time. So I'm gonna copy that one and paste it, and then on the layer I'm going to flip it. On where's my transformation? Is it actually under edit? In the, yeah, transform. So edit, transform, there. And then once we move it over here, there. And let's merge those two. Now we have two apartments. One of the good things about working at 50% is that if I wanted to take this into a production painting, I have the resolution already. as you can see, once I zoom in, I'm not losing any information by zooming in. Now let's take that one. And then we can move it down. So that it fits underneath roughly. And let's get one more. Now we have to remember to scale it. As we come down. I'm going to keep on doing this this part. Then I will merge all of the ones that are not part of the main picture afterwards, and then I will erase the parts where this bridge goes over, and that will automatically give me what the information underneath, like the apartments underneath. So instead of sitting and drawing these or sketching these out that are going to be exactly the same, we make it a little bit easier here in the start. Now that we have all of those, we can merge the layers. And then again start erasing one layer, erasing the parts that are inside this this bridge. Thank you for the subscription or the follow. I mean, much appreciated. To soup. This is also not part of the, because it's the top of the building. And this is the bottom of the building, or not the building, the bridge. So we don't see that either. There. Now we can merge them, and I think for making it clearer, I will actually add a layer underneath, and I will put it to multiply, and then I will take a very, very light. This is a small little trick just so that it makes it easier for me to see what I am actually doing. Hold on. Okay, so as I was saying, I have picked this round clean brush, and let's say call it foreground, that layer, and it's simply just to separate the bridge from the background, as we are adding more and more of this this background, and it becomes harder and harder to tell what is what. So this is a quick little trick for it. This top line here is part of it as well. This I'm doing this due to the fact that the objects in the background, they have a thicker line than they should have, and that makes them look like they're in front. So by separating with a flat color, then there is no question about what is in front and what is behind. Of course, all of this will be fixed in the final sketch. If I choose to make one. So that was that. Now this is in the front, and I will lock that layer. And then let's move back to the soft pressure size and to our ink color again. And the same brush size as we had before when we were sketching. Actually, we weren't finished, so back again. Unlock this foreground layer. And then add the rest of this foreground layer. There. Now it's all in the foreground. And now we can lock that and color and brush. And down again with the brush. There. And let's check here quickly. Let's see, just quickly checking a few things. With some settings. seem to work. Okay, so let's continue with this one. So we had added these now. And let's see, yeah. And there is a little bit of cleanup here from the copy paste that I have to do. Even though it's just the underlying sketch. I think it's still important to do. Let's put something over here. Let's say over here. So looking at the reference, there's this this one window, and then there is like a kind of like a cover on top of the window in order for the rain not to come down. So we will add the same here. It goes a little further out. There. And I think we can just do like with these windows, that just add a guideline quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect. And here's the guideline. This is this side of the, so the guide comes here and continues down here. It's not so important. Yeah, and then I'll use this one as a guide to when to add a window more. But first we will take this window and we'll move it down a little bit because it was maybe a little too high up. Here comes another window and the window seal. And the next one. There's something I've done incorrect. I'll have to fix. Okay, let's fix this. This is actually where it starts. This one. Let's measure that again. There. And there. Okay. So that means this is the window. And here's this protection on top. Okay. So then the next one. Yeah, okay. Be here. Again, I will fix this in the real sketch. I think we'll just wing it for now. Next one we wouldn't be able to see, and this one can only see a little bit of. The window. This one we wouldn't be able to see, and then there would be one here. So the most important part of this is just to get them to make it look like it repeats. Okay, so now that we have those, then we can start on the next. And this is going to be a little bit different, I think. We're going to cut into this one. And make this part a little further in. I'll do that by adding a shadow here. It will look like the top here is going inwards. And let's do that all the way down. So the next one would be probably around here. Off there. And the next one. So it's basically just going down this whole thing. Now we are starting to arrive at the horizon, which means that there is going to be some changes in what receives shadow and what does not. We can widen this shadow in order to make it look like it goes further in. And let's see, there is one here, in here, which is completely on the horizon now. See any more of it. And then the lower part of this one. It won't do. So the reason I'm doing this now this way is that I'm going to figure out what is the best way to do this, and like when it comes to this background stuff, and I'm starting to lean towards in this one I would have drawn the bridge on its own layer, because then it would have been easier to copy paste. And I think I'll do that once if I do the sketch, or if I decide to do a sketch of this, like a finished sketch, that then I would sketch out the bridge on its own layer so that it doesn't interfere with the background part. I think that would have been the best. Let's quickly check some messages. Okay. So let's see. This is still over the horizon line. Yeah, so there. Currently figuring out what the next one should entail. I think it will just be the same as there. So basically just going through these. There. Okay. Add a little bit of shadow here and move this. When it goes inwards, then the outline moves. Like if I'm thinking that it's a window, then it's not completely on line with the. Welcome everyone to from Fatman Lek, and thank you for hosting me. So today we are drawing or sketching cityscapes, and this is a cityscape that I've been taking from the movie Ghost in the Shell, and I have said it many times, but I'll gladly say it again. Hate the movie, like the cinematography. This is a scene where the person who is supposed to be Japanese but is a Hollywood actor instead, which is one of the reasons I don't like the movie, is coming to meet her mother for the first time after they have erased her memory. And and she walks over this like it's kind of like this barren area that must signify something about her memory, I'm sure. So today I'm studying how to best do these things, and I've come to the conclusion that I should, when I drew the bridge that she walks on, I should have made it in its own layer so that I could easily take like hide it away as I was doing the back sketch. This is, however, only a draft sketch, so if I decided to actually make it a final sketch, I would start laying out perspective grids and lines and stuff like that in order to make sure that everything is going towards the correct perspective. So yeah, what else is there to say? Not really a lot, just draw. I could once again mention that I'm currently running a giveaway that ends the 1st of June, in which point I will draw a lottery of my followers for a portrait painting that can be used, for example, for your portrait on Twitch. So if you like what you see here today, then do please follow, and you are in the draw to win a portrait painting. And since you're probably seeing my my portrait at the moment, that's kind of the quality that I'm aiming at giving. Let's continue here. So the main thing that I can see that I have to take extra special care with when doing these is that the consistency has to be there. And what I mean by that is that these apartments seem to all basically be the same in the rows that go down. So here, for example, they should all look the same, and over here, when I'm using these, the whole way down they look the same. I'm sure it makes it easier to make when constructing the actual building. So I'm just continuing doing this, and soon you will be leaving me for someone else. So hope you have a continued nice evening, and that you end up in watching some game that you actually wanted to see. There, we are almost finished with this side, and the next one will be, so this is actually going in, as we can see up here. It can be pretty hard to see down here due to there is no reference of the end point. So we'll have to figure out something to add there so that we can see that this part goes in front. thinking that I would add these side windows over on this side as well, but I don't know. I don't know. One other thing that I'm noticing is that this background, it's too close. We're not getting the sense of it being these humongous living areas. It just looks like kind of, you know, what is there? 9 floors. And in the reference there is probably 20 floors. So that's one thing to think about as well, that that this whole thing should have been smaller. But that's good to know. Yeah. Let's see what to do, because I kind of want to reuse it, but I can't just. No, it will be what it is, and I will make a mental note that in the future I have to make it a lot thinner, but then with this size of canvas I wouldn't anyways be able to, because the detailing would be too thick. So let's just continue here. So I'm going to add these side windows over on this side as well. Yes, and then on this I'm going to add the same as here. So these a little more modern buildings. Now I guess I could actually start with those first. They're the easiest, so I'm going to add a thick shadow here, and that will make it appear like it goes inwards. And that then means that we have to move the center point of the window. Like that. And then top would again be here. Thick. Consistency. I'm not so worried about the perspective here, because it's just a rough drawing. If it had been a proper work sketch, I would have laid in some perspective grid, and I could quickly show it. I actually have a specific tool for that, for making perspective grids. Practically you just draw 2 lines and then it creates a perspective grid for you. It's very easy. Though sometimes I find myself just laying down the perspective grid myself. So I'm kind of winging the perspective here. Likewise, the size of these parts. And now it looks very skewed. But it's okay. Let's see, here's the lower part. And the upper part, and then there would be a lower part here as well, where it kind of continued. Move that one a little bit. And I think after this one I will take a quick break. And then the top line again. There. To move this a little bit in like that. This is the outer side of the next one. Yep. Okay, so I am going to take a quick break, and when I come back I will probably move to the next picture. So hope you stay with me during the break. See you soon. going to continue with this one, I think. I just need to figure out what I want to add. Or actually, I think that will actually be it for tonight. I'm pretty tired and this is taking a lot of energy out of me. So thank you everyone who came tonight, and I will be online tomorrow where I will figure something new and fun out. Maybe I will even start on a portrait or something. Hope to see you then, and if not, have a great evening, and remember to follow to be part of the giveaway the 1st of June. Take care. Bye.